Welcome back to the Mind Shelf, where we dive deep into the transformative power of mindset and mental resilience. I'm thrilled to have you here today as we explore one of the most powerful concepts that can completely change your life: learning how to not let anything affect you. This isn't about becoming emotionally numb or disconnected. It's about developing unshakable inner strength that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace, wisdom, and unwavering peace. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's unlock the secrets to becoming emotionally bulletproof together. The foundation of emotional invincibility. In a world that seems designed to trigger, upset, and overwhelm us at every turn, the ability to remain unaffected by external circumstances has become a superpower. When we master the art of emotional detachment, not in a cold, uncaring way, but in a wise, centered manner, we reclaim control over our inner world and consequently our entire life experience. The concept of not letting anything affect you isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending that challenges don't exist. Instead, it's about developing such a strong sense of self and inner peace that external events lose their power to derail your emotional equilibrium. This is the difference between reacting and responding, between being a victim of circumstances and being the master of your own emotional destiny. Understanding the nature of external events. Everything that happens outside of your mind, other people's opinions, unexpected setbacks, criticism, praise, success, failure, these are all external events. They exist in the realm of the physical world, but they only gain power over your emotional state when you give them permission to enter your inner sanctuary. Think of your mind as a fortress. Every day, various forces attempt to breach its walls. Negative comments, disappointing news, unexpected challenges, and even positive events that might make you overly excited or attached. The key is learning to observe these forces without allowing them to penetrate your core sense of peace and self-worth. The psychology behind emotional reactivity. To master the art of remaining unaffected, we must first understand why we react so strongly to external stimuli. Our brains are wired for survival, equipped with an ancient alarm system that was designed to keep our ancestors alive in a world full of physical threats. This system, known as the amygdala hijack, floods our body with stress hormones whenever we perceive danger, whether real or imagined. In modern times, this survival mechanism often works against us. A critical email triggers the same biological response as facing a saber-toothed tiger. A social media comment activates our fight-or-flight response as if we were being physically attacked. Our nervous system can't distinguish between actual threats and perceived emotional threats. The role of ego in emotional reactivity. Much of our emotional reactivity stems from ego, that part of us that's constantly concerned with how we appear to others, whether we're winning or losing, and whether our self-image is being validated or threatened. The ego is like a demanding child that requires constant attention and validation. When it doesn't get what it wants, it throws a tantrum in the form of emotional reactivity. Learning to observe your ego without being controlled by it is crucial for developing emotional resilience. This doesn't mean eliminating the ego entirely. That's neither possible nor necessary. Instead, it means recognizing when your ego is activated and choosing not to let it drive your emotional responses. Building your emotional fortress. Core principles. 1. The observer self. The first step in not letting anything affect you is developing what psychologists call the observer self. The part of you that can watch your thoughts and emotions without being consumed by them. This is the voice inside your head that can say, "I notice I'm feeling angry right now," rather than "I am angry." This distinction might seem subtle, but it's revolutionary. When you identify completely with your emotions, you become them. When you observe your emotions from a slight distance, you maintain your power to choose how to respond. Practice exercise. Throughout your day, practice noticing your emotional states without judgment. Simply observe. I'm noticing frustration arising, or I'm aware of excitement building. This simple shift in language helps activate your observer self. 2. The principle of emotional sovereignty. Emotional sovereignty means taking complete responsibility for your emotional state, regardless of external circumstances. This doesn't mean you control everything that happens to you. That's impossible. But it does mean you recognize that your response to what happens to you is entirely within your control. This principle is often met with resistance because it requires us to give up one of our favorite pastimes: blaming external circumstances for how we feel. It's comfortable to say, "You made me angry," or "This situation is stressing me out." It's much more challenging and much more empowering to say, "I'm choosing to feel angry in response to your actions," or "I'm allowing this situation to stress me." 3. The art of detached engagement. Many people misunderstand emotional detachment, thinking it means becoming cold, uncaring, or disconnected from life. True detachment is quite the opposite. It's the ability to engage fully with life while maintaining inner peace and perspective. Detached engagement means you can care deeply about outcomes while not being emotionally devastated if things don't go according to plan. You can love people intensely while not being destroyed if they don't love you back in the way you hope. You can pursue goals passionately while maintaining equanimity whether you succeed or fail. The Stoic foundation, ancient wisdom for modern challenges. The ancient Stoics mastered the art of emotional resilience over 2,000 years ago, and their teachings remain remarkably relevant today. The core Stoic principle that applies here is the dichotomy of control, understanding what is within your control and what is not. What you can control: your thoughts and interpretations, your responses and reactions, your values and principles, your effort and attitude, your focus and attention. What you cannot control: other people's actions and opinions, natural events and circumstances, the past or the future, outcomes and results, other people's emotions. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most famous Stoic philosophers, wrote in his personal journal, now known as Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't just philosophical theory. It's practical wisdom that can transform your daily experience. When you truly internalize this principle, you stop wasting energy trying to control the uncontrollable and instead focus all your power on what you can actually influence: your inner world. Practical strategies for developing emotional resilience. 1. The pause practice. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies your power to choose your response. The pause practice is about expanding that space so you have more time to choose wisely rather than react automatically. When something potentially triggering happens, pause for just 3 seconds before responding. In those 3 seconds, take a deep breath and ask yourself, "How do I want to respond to this?" Or what response would serve me best in this situation? This simple practice can prevent countless emotional hijacks and help you maintain your composure in challenging situations. 2. The reframe technique. Every situation can be interpreted in multiple ways. The reframe technique involves consciously choosing interpretations that serve your emotional well-being, rather than those that disturb your peace. For example, instead of, "This person is trying to make me look bad," try, "This person is probably dealing with their own insecurities." Instead of, "This setback is ruining my plans," try, "This setback is redirecting me towards something better." Instead of, "I can't believe this is happening to me," try, "This is an opportunity to practice my resilience." 3. The emotional weather system. Think of emotions like weather patterns. They arise, persist for a while, and then pass naturally. Just as you wouldn't try to stop a thunderstorm by getting angry at it, there's no point in fighting your emotions when they arise. Instead, practice observing your emotions like a meteorologist observes weather patterns. Notice, there's a storm of frustration moving through right now. I'll acknowledge it and wait for it to pass, knowing that clear skies will return. This perspective helps you maintain emotional equilibrium even when intense feelings arise, because you understand that emotions are temporary phenomena, not permanent states. Advanced techniques for emotional mastery. 1. The identity shift. Most emotional reactivity comes from threats to our identity, who we think we are and how we want to be perceived. By expanding your identity beyond narrow labels and roles, you become less vulnerable to identity-based emotional attacks. Instead of identifying as a successful person, a good parent, or someone who's always right, try identifying as a human being having various experiences, someone who's constantly learning and growing, or consciousness expressing itself through this particular life. This broader identity makes you less fragile because there are fewer ways for external events to threaten who you think you are. 2. The gratitude shield. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions for maintaining inner peace because it's nearly impossible to feel grateful and upset simultaneously. Develop a practice of finding something to be grateful for in every situation, no matter how challenging. This doesn't mean forcing fake positivity or denying real problems. It means training your mind to notice the gifts that exist alongside the challenges. The lesson to be learned, the strength being developed, the deeper understanding being gained. 3. The energy management system. Your emotional energy is finite and precious. Learning to manage this energy wisely is crucial for maintaining your emotional equilibrium. This means choosing your battles. Not every hill is worth dying on. Save your emotional energy for what truly matters. Setting boundaries. Limit your exposure to consistently negative people and situations when possible. Energy restoration. Develop practices that restore your emotional energy: meditation, nature walks, creative activities, or time with loved ones. Dealing with specific challenges. Handling criticism and negative feedback. Criticism can be one of the most difficult external forces to remain unaffected by, especially when it comes from people whose opinions matter to us. Here's how to handle it. Separate the message from the messenger. Even harsh criticism can contain valuable information. Try to extract any useful feedback while ignoring the delivery method. Consider the source. Ask yourself whether this person's opinion should carry weight in your life. Not everyone's opinion deserves equal consideration. Look for the grain of truth. Most criticism contains at least a small element of truth. Find it, acknowledge it, and use it for growth. Remember, your worth isn't up for vote. Your value as a human being isn't determined by anyone else's opinion of you. Managing disappointment and unmet expectations. Disappointment often arises from the gap between our expectations and reality. To minimize its impact, hold expectations lightly. Have preferences rather than rigid expectations. Find the hidden gift. Every disappointment contains the seeds of unexpected opportunities. Practice acceptance. Accept what is before trying to change what might be. Dealing with difficult people. Some people seem designed to push our buttons and test our emotional resilience. Here's how to remain unaffected. Don't take it personally. Their behavior is about them, not you. Set clear boundaries. You can't control their behavior, but you can control your level of engagement. Practice compassion. Hurt people often hurt people. Their difficult behavior might stem from their own pain. The neuroscience of emotional resilience. Modern neuroscience supports many ancient wisdom traditions about emotional regulation. Research shows that practices like mindfulness meditation literally rewire the brain, strengthening areas associated with emotional regulation while weakening reactive patterns. The prefrontal cortex. Your brain's executive center can be strengthened through practice, giving you more control over your emotional responses. The amygdala, your brain's alarm system, can be calmed through consistent mindfulness practices. This means that developing emotional resilience isn't just a matter of willpower or positive thinking. It's about literally changing your brain structure to support more balanced emotional responses. Creating your personal emotional resilience plan. Daily practices. Morning intention setting. Start each day by setting an intention to remain peaceful and centered regardless of what arises. Mindfulness moments. Practice brief moments of mindfulness throughout the day, simply observing your current state without judgment. Evening reflection. End each day by reflecting on moments when you remained centered and times when you got pulled into reactivity, learning from both. Weekly practices. Emotional inventory. Once a week, review your emotional patterns and identify areas for improvement. Gratitude journaling. Write down things you're grateful for, including challenges that helped you grow. Boundary review. Assess whether your current boundaries are serving your emotional well-being. Monthly practices. Progress assessment. Evaluate your growth and emotional resilience over the past month. Practice adjustment. Modify your practices based on what's working and what isn't. Goal setting. Set new intentions for continued growth and emotional mastery. The ripple effect of emotional resilience. When you stop letting external events affect you, the benefits extend far beyond your personal peace of mind. Your relationships improve because you're less reactive and more responsive. Your decision-making becomes clearer because emotions aren't clouding your judgment. Your productivity increases because you're not wasting energy on emotional drama. Moreover, your emotional resilience inspires others. People are naturally drawn to those who remain calm in storms, and your example gives others permission to develop their own emotional strength. Common misconceptions and pitfalls. Misconception. Emotional resilience means suppressing emotions. True emotional resilience isn't about stuffing down emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about feeling emotions fully while not being controlled by them. You can feel anger without acting angrily, experience sadness without being depressed, or notice fear without being paralyzed by it. Misconception 2. It's selfish to not let things affect you. Some people worry that developing emotional resilience makes them uncaring or selfish. In reality, the opposite is true. When you're emotionally centered, you can respond to others' needs more effectively because you're not caught up in your own emotional drama. Misconception 3. This should happen quickly. This should. Developing emotional resilience is a lifelong journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself as you develop these skills. Every small improvement is significant progress. Integration and long-term success. The key to long-term success in not letting anything affect you lies in consistent practice and patience with yourself. Like physical fitness, emotional fitness requires regular exercise to maintain. Start small. Choose one technique from this guide and practice it consistently for a week. Once it becomes natural, add another technique. Build your emotional resilience gradually and sustainably. Remember that setbacks are part of the process. There will be days when you react emotionally to situations you thought you had mastered. This doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're human. Learn from these experiences and recommit to your practice. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Every moment you choose peace over reactivity. Every time you pause before responding. Every instance where you remain centered despite external chaos. You're building emotional resilience that will serve you for life. When you truly master the art of not letting anything affect you, you'll discover something remarkable. You become more effective in every area of life. You make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and navigate challenges with wisdom and grace. You become a source of strength for others and a living example of what's possible when someone takes full responsibility for their emotional state. This is the ultimate freedom. The freedom to choose your response to life regardless of what life throws at you. It's the freedom that comes from knowing that your peace of mind doesn't depend on external circumstances aligning with your preferences. It's the freedom of emotional sovereignty. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into emotional resilience and the power of not letting anything affect you. I hope these insights and strategies will serve you well on your journey toward greater inner peace and emotional mastery. Remember, this isn't just about reading or watching. It's about applying these principles consistently in your daily life. If this content resonated with you, please consider subscribing to the Mind Shelf for more transformative content about mindset, personal growth, and mental resilience. Your support means the world to me and helps us reach more people who are ready to take control of their emotional destiny. I'd love to hear about your experiences applying these concepts, so please share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. Until next time, remember, you have the power to choose your response to everything life presents to you. Stay strong, stay centered, and keep growing. This is the Mind Shelf, and I'll see you in the next video.